Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.
You can't have missed the recent glut of YouTube videos where folk buy a motorcycle on Amazon or Temu or whatever, get a crate delivered, put it all together, and then tell you the bike is crap. What do you expect from a mail-order bike? But having a motorbike delivered by post is hardly a new thing. You could do it all the way back in 1909.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat.
In many ways, the American mail-order giant Sears Roebuck & Co. was the 19th century precursor of Amazon. By 1895, its catalogue, often called the Consumer's Bible, contained 532 pages, and you could order anything from sewing machines to sporting goods. In 1908, it began selling its first car, and the Sears Autocycle joined the catalogue the following year. By 1913, Sears was marketing the Special Deluxe Dreadnought Twin, quite a sophisticated machine for its time. Of course, Sears also pioneered badge engineering, as all these bikes were outsourced to an engineering firm called Aurora, which had also made engines for Indian. After the two spots of global argy-bargy in the 20th century, competition for mail-order mopeds and motorbikes heated up, with Sears' rival Montgomery Ward getting in on the act. By then, Sears had branched out into smaller machines, mopeds and scooters, sourced from Puch in Austria and Vespa in Italy. But what about here in the UK? Before the internet, was it possible to have a motorised two-wheeler shipped to your doorstep? This recondite question was prompted by a comment from Ace's JG9 GP on one of my recent moped shootouts, who swears blind to the fact that he bought a brand new Puch GP50 on the Never Never from Rumbelows in 1976 for 200 quid. For those of you who don't know or can't remember, Rumbelows was a high street electrical retailer here in the UK, which had its heyday in the 1970s and 1980s, not unlike today's Currys or Dick Smith in Oz or Radio Shack in the US. It seems an unlikely retailer to source a Puch moped from, and without wanting to contradict my viewer, my research into Rumbelows selling powered two-wheelers drew a blank. If anyone else bought a moped from Rumbelows in the 1970s, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. On the other hand, Comet, an electricals chain in competition with Rumbelows, did go in potatoes deep with Puch in the 1970s, running massive ad campaigns and competitions in local newspapers to win 50s and trumpeting easy deals and credit, and offering discounts that independent bike shops just couldn't match. But even if you could nip down the high street to Rumbelows or Comet to buy a moped, a TV and a toaster for those special nights out, that doesn't get us any further towards answering the question of whether you could clip a coupon and get Postman Pat to hump a motorcycle to your doorstep. You could order kits, and in the 50s, cycle motors, which you clipped onto your push bike, were available by mail order. I'll be covering those in an upcoming video. But a full-on motorcycle that you could pull out of a cardboard box and assemble with a few spanners? Well, there is some evidence that great Universal stores and K's here in the UK, both very similar to Sears, did offer Thomas mopeds in their catalogues, and perhaps Honda mopeds too, maybe even the dreaded, not very terrific, difficult rider. But we only have our AI overlords to thank for that bit of knowledge, and all they could do was point me to a website that sells old Great Universal catalogues, where I'd have to email over the shiny side of a tenner and await a download. There are balaclava-clad men riding e-bikes round my local streets that I'd trust my hard-earned dosh with more. The one actual mail-order bike I could verify in the UK was this dinky drivable, the Brockhouse Corgi.
Many wartime inventions have since been adapted for peacetime use, and miniature portable folding motorbikes are one of them. Parachutists use them against the enemy. Now anybody with petrol coupons can use them for shopping or other essential excursions.
Which was originally designed by the Brits to be dropped in a box, with a parachute attached, unfolded, and used by paratroopers in combat zones. It was repurposed for Civvy Street once hostilities were over, and if it was small enough to drop behind enemy lines in a box, it was small enough to be posted off in a box in the Royal Mail. It was heavily marketed by Brockhouse in magazines and newspapers in the late 1940s and 1950s. There's one other dishonourable mention that I'm rather reluctant to relate.
The Sinclair C5.
This electric abomination from the 1980s, which was so abysmal that its inventor, Sir Clive Sinclair, had to pay people to ride it, was purely sold by mail order to begin with.
Imagine a vehicle that can drive you 5 miles for a penny.
And was eventually even sold in Comet. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I hope you enjoyed this week's trip down the motorcycle rabbit hole. If you did, then please consider liking, commenting and sharing to let YouTube know we're doing something right here at 3 Fills. There are other ways to support the channel, such as membership and super thanks. Just click on the description to find out more. Thank you.
The Sinclair C5, £399. Want to buy one? Want to see one? Or simply want to read all about it? Just dial 100 and ask for a free phone C5 now.